Welcome, everyone, to another episode of WTF with, as always, the wonderful Dr. Chris Willems and the beautiful Alan Stevens, and with me, Angela Heise. So we couldn't quite decide how we're going to do this, but we decided we're going to tackle the genders separately. And we just thought we'd start with the men, because why not? And talk about some of the things that men do that can really be irritating, like the whole you have to fix things every time, like just listen instead of fixing things. There's this video that I and Alan as well that we use in our trainings where we show this video called "It's Not About the Nail." And if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it. It's quite old now, but it's still very, very relevant. And yeah, it's about that. So are men unable to listen? That's my question. Can you listen, guys?
I'll let Alan speak first. I wasn't listening.
Throw me in at the deep end. Good on you, buddy. when we should be talking about how we support each other. Thank you very much. But well, that movie, you can find it on YouTube, and it's only a short one, but it's very interesting. It's like the woman's complaining about the fact that all of her clothes are getting snagged. She's got this headache and everything else. And then when she finally turns on screen where you see her, she's got a nail sticking out of her head. And of course, as men, well, if you got rid of the nail, you get rid of the headache. And that wasn't what was wanted. In this particular case, it was knowing what the woman actually wanted. Did she want us to fix the problem, or did she just want us to listen? And the way that we are designed as men, we are emotional, but we don't want to deal with our emotions. So we just want to go in and fix a problem. It's the quickest way to do things. But that quite often does not match what the woman wants. And it is a case of asking them, do you want us to fix this, or do you want us to listen? If we did that more often, we wouldn't have the problems that we've got.
But sometimes those conversations just start organically, and as a bloke, you're kind of listening, and you go, well, yeah, why don't you do X, Y, or Z? And i.e., potential solutions to the problem. But it takes us a few decades to realise that women just want to have the conversation and not necessarily have a solution, whether it's the right one or the wrong one, because it could be either. So yeah, and it takes a while to realise that that's what's happening. Because if the conversations started organically, it drifts and flows, and but all of a sudden, it's gone to a place where you can offer a solution. You think you can offer a solution, but that's not what the outcome is that is wanted in that conversation.
As you said, it just takes us it can take us a couple of decades, in some cases, a hell of a lot of decades to get there.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I think it's about appreciating that men's brains and women's brains don't work the same way. But it's sometimes, I mean, speaking as a woman, it can be really frustrating. I mean, sometimes I get this thing, when a guy stands in front of a drawer and says, or in the kitchen and says, or wherever, and says, I can't find this. And it's like, but it's right there. No, it's not. It's not there. And then, I come in and I go, here it is. Oh, okay. And it's just there's almost a blindness for some things. And I don't know, does that have to do with task focus? Like outcome focus?
The expression of "Did you have a mummy look or a daddy look?" Comes to mind. But for all of us, when you're looking for things, you never find them until you don't need them anymore, and then all of a sudden they're obvious as anything. So yeah, I'm not sure whether that's a male or female thing, but I seem to my observation after a few hundred decades on the planet is that as we get older, it happens to all of us, whether we're male or female. So,
But there's one thing in that's guaranteed. The thing you were looking for will always be in the last place you look. That's where you'll find it every time.
Okay, but the difference between men and women is this. A woman will go around and start looking for things, and I'm completely generalizing here, okay? I would go around and see if I can find it. As my experience, and I've had this, I live by myself, but I've got friends visiting. They stand in the middle of the room and they go, I can't find my glasses. Have you looked yet? No, but I know where they're not. And it's like, okay, how about you go and look where you had them the last time? Oh, okay. And it's just, I had one friend visiting, and he just kept misplacing his phone. I mean, I can't tell you how many times he would say, "Where did I leave my phone?" And I go, "I don't know. I don't know. You've been outside, you've been here. I don't know where you've put your phone." And it's always the expectation was, and I don't know. I said, when you ask me this question, do you actually do you want me to find it for you, or is that just you, externalizing your internal dialogue that goes, where did I leave my phone? But it wasn't. He was genuinely asking me if I knew where his phone was, and I'm like, "Sorry, mate, can't help you."
Well, us males, we'd just ring his phone for him and find it that way.
Yeah, no, we're doing women next time, but
And the expression "I've looked everywhere" is complete crap, because you obviously haven't looked everywhere because you haven't found the bloody thing. But someone very near and dear to me has a habit of losing car keys, and she has them on a lanyard, and I say, why don't you, as soon as you come in, hang the car key on the doorknob, on the inside of the doorknob, the front door, and you always know where it is, because also in an emergency, if you have to get out quickly and get into the car and go away, then it's it's there. But and most of the time that kind of works, but every now and again, they get distracted and don't hang the car key on the.
Yeah, but just remember that advice is back to, it's not about the nail.
yeah.
Did you want us to go, here's a solution for it? Or, well, we need to ask those questions, don't we?
The solution works. That's the whole point. The solution works. You always know where your keys are, where your car keys are.
Yeah, but this is the thing is, I mean, do we ask these questions, or do you ask these things, or is this whole need to fix, is that, and I'm just going to be controversial here, is that also a need to feel powerful?
No, it's a need to just fix shit.
Competent.
Well, maybe confidence, not powerful. Certainly competence. Well, but if the solution is an obvious one, then it's an obvious solution.
But I think it's also wired into our DNA as far as men were the problem solvers. We were the hunters. The women were the gatherers. They were the nurturers. They had to multitask with looking after all the children and everything else. Like, okay, you've got 3 kids. I guarantee they're all going to roll off in the same direction. Whereas men, we would go out hunting. We wouldn't take the kids because that'd be a distraction. So we were focused on what we're doing. So we're looking at a solution, bringing back that beach, for instance. And so we're wired differently. And so is your computer.
Isn't it excellent?
It's the green thing.
I love technology so much.
Yeah. Well, what we should do then is asking is technology male or female?
Indeed. Well,
that could be another conversation for another time.
Well, as a male, surprisingly, I respond emotionally to technology failing. I shouldn't. It should just be a logical process, and assumptions would be that, oh, you're a bloke, you just do logical stuff. No, I respond emotionally to it because I want to throw the freaking computer out the window. But that's not particularly male, I don't think. It's just, the nature.
I think that's just general frustration towards technology.
The personality failing of mine.
Okay, so I don't even know how much time we've spent talking about this so far.
Probably enough.
So the whole point is, yes, there are certain patterns that men have, and then there's certain patterns that women have, and we're going to talk about that in the next one. But it's about just recognizing them, like just recognizing what works and what doesn't work. Like as Alan was saying, did you want some feedback? Did you want me to, offer you something, or do you just want me to listen? Or, do you really want me to find this for you, or are you just externalizing your internal dialogue? I mean, there are all these ways in which we can actually step out of that and have a look at it and going, what is really needed here right now, rather than going on automatic and going, this is what I would do right now. It's about noticing what the other person wants, and that's neither male nor female. That's just human.
I think it comes back to the fact of we need to be able to, as we say, we listen to people to understand. We don't listen to them to respond. That's the way we should be doing it, is listening to understand. Yeah. And that's where it comes back to, whether we're male or female, do we really understand the other person? Are we taking that time to find out what it is that they really want before we start doing things, whether it be joining the argument about what they're going over and taking sides, or whether it's coming up with solutions or whatever. But understanding each other and appreciating that we are different, and appreciating and respecting that difference.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Indeed. And they're the kind of conversations that we need to keep having to build bridges of respect one conversation at a time. Thank you, Angela. I'm very much looking forward to our next conversation about women. Thanks to Angela Heise and Alan Stevens, and we will see you at the next episode of WTF. Thank you very much.